Let's talk about what makes you happy. Let's talk about what brings you down. Let's talk about what brings your whole world crashing to the ground. Let's talk about down music, baby. Tell me how it thrills you, baby. Let's talk about the music in your head. Let's talk about the music, baby. Tell me how it kills you, baby. Talk about the music in your
Hey, it's Spotlight. Let's talk about the music. Yes.
Let's talk about the music, baby. Tell me how it kills you, baby. Talk about the music in your head.
Hey, and it's Spotlight. This is Let's Talk About the Music pilot episode. I am Spider. Yay! Guess what I'm hosting? Hey, I'm hosting, guys. Did you know that? I'm hosting. Ha ha. And Shels is here too.
Hello.
She didn't get left behind, but she's
Nope.
co-hosting today.
Yep.
Co-hosting. How does that feel?
Feels weird. But I'm okay
It's
with
backwards,
that.
isn't it?
It is.
And on Spotlight, this is what we're talking about. For those of you who hear our Wednesday night show, this is not exactly like that. We're doing some talking and we're doing some music, but we're pointing the spotlight at individual artists and the fans that tribute their music. And tonight's artist, of course, is Prince, the Prince of Purple himself. Yay! Everybody's happy. And our guest tonight, his name is Julian. He's from the Prince tribute band Erotic City. How's it going, man?
It is going funky, fantastic.
Awesome. Great to hear that. Definitely great to hear that. And it's looking to be a great show. Very glad to have you here. We're going to move right into things and keep it lively, keep it funky, like you said there. So, since we're talking about Prince, of course, what? Give me a little bit of background here. You have this Prince tribute band, and how did you get started doing this kind of thing? Like, what got you on the road towards this Prince tribute band?
I got tired of people saying I look like him. It started out just like that. I'm walking into clubs and people say, "Hey, you know who you look like?" I'm like, "Tom Selleck." They're like, "Tom Selleck? No, you look like this guy." I'm like, "Well, who is that?" And they're like, "Prince." And like, I was giving out these Prince Abala, Prince Hakeem. They're like, "No, Prince, the guy who sings Purple Rain." I'm like, "I never heard of him. Let me go check him out and see if this works." And no, but seriously, I grew up listening to funk and rock and all that. And my first concert, my first concert I went out with my sister was a Rick James concert back in Chicago in 1980 at the Uptown Theater, famous Uptown Theater. And Prince was opening up for him. And that was my first time actually seeing him live. But growing up in school, I did hear like, "Hey, you look like this guy." That part was true. The other part was all funny stuff. But yeah, being compared to somebody like that and not knowing what the heck was going on at the time, I was like, "Well, who is this guy? Why does he wear these panties and leg warmers and all of this stuff?" And then when you finally see the show, you get it. It was a whole new generation elapsing and turning and evolving and stuff like that. And I recognized that, wow, this guy is actually doing all the kind of music that I like to do, from funk, rock, rhythm, and blues. And he was bold. And even as a child, I was bold. I wasn't scared to dress and do things and try things and all that stuff. So I recognized a lot of things watching him and then seeing it within myself. And it just kind of came natural. It came natural to be like, wow, at a certain time, I walked into this club. This is a funny story. I walked into this club in Chicago where I was, and this guy, I'm in the bathroom. This guy walks in there. He is blacker than charcoal. I couldn't even see his face. It was so black. And he's telling me, he goes, "Hey, please don't tell me you're in the show." I'm like, "What show?" He goes, "Yeah, there's a show where we're doing almost like karaoke or whatever." And he goes, "Yeah, there's a contest for like $100, and I'm singing Prince." And I'm like, "Oh wow, really?" But I walk out, and this little group of old ladies, I swear to God, they must have been in their 60s somewhere. They looked at me and say, "Hey, Sonny, come over here. Are you in the show?" I'm like, "No, I'm not in the show." This one lady digs in her purse, whips out a $50 bill, slaps it on the table. She goes, "Are you in the show now?" I'm like, wait a second. Then her friend, she whips out another 20, and the other one whips out another 20. Next thing I know, I'm looking at a whole table full of money. I'm like, I think I'm going to be in this show. So, I get in the show, I sing International Lover. That was one song I didn't know really good by Prince. I liked it. So I sang that song in front of these old ladies, and they're tossing money at me like crazy, like I'm a stripper, you know, and I got money all over the place, and I win the contest. The money that the ladies gave me, plus the tips. So I'm walking out of there with a few $100, and that charcoal guy, oh, he was pissed. He was so mad at me. But I got a standing ovation, and I finally realized what it felt like to be like, wait a second, I never got this in high school. I never got this anywhere. This was different. We got this certain attraction with the audience now. You know what I mean? And it kind of like lured me in to be like, I think I can probably try this with this Prince thing, along with other things that I do. So that's how it really got fueled and motivated me to like take it forward.
Nice. How long? When did you like? What year around did you start the actual tribute band, and how long have you been doing this?
I probably started in '95 when I really started getting really serious with it. Because all along before that, I was doing, you know, like my own music, or I was jumping in bands, playing cover music and stuff like that. I'm from Chicago, so there was always like the blues thing and playing in the blues clubs or rock clubs and all that kind of stuff. But it started out, I think, around '95 when I started trying to figure out. I'm like, okay, I got to get a Prince outfit. And I couldn't. I didn't know any fashion designers, so I took some of my old clothes and kind of just did some alterations to it and made it look as close to a Prince outfit as I could. And went out and started doing some Prince shows here and there, and the reception was just mind-blowing.
Nice, very
So I
nice.
just
So
started-
really positive right from the
I-
get-go.
Yeah. Well, you know, Prince was still a hot ticket back then. You know, I mean, he's all he was, but back then he was still on the main circuit, you know, and doing his thing. So it really kind of took me. It took me a minute to be like, wow, this is like really something I can work with.
Nice. Now, did you in the whole time of you doing this Prince tribute, was there ever a time that you had any notice from Prince? Like, did he know that you guys are doing this?
No, that didn't happen until 2000. In 2000, he did a concert at the Riviera in Chicago. It was called a Hit and Run Tour. And that's when I went to that show. And during the show, he would pull a lot of fans up during the song Kiss, and We Got the Look. And I was lucky to be selected, that he pulled me up among a lot of my other friends and fans. There was about maybe 13, 15 of us up on stage. And I was the very last one he pulled up. And when he did that, this is what he said: "Ladies and gentlemen, this is my nephew." The whole crowd just freaking freaked out. And my friends were laughing, but for the people that didn't know me, they thought it was real. This hit the news. It hit the newspapers. It was in the magazines. It was all over the place. Like, oh, Prince got a nephew. He looks just like him, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this is freaking crazy.
Did he ever say
He
anything
kept me
to
up
you
there
about
for
it
about
after
15
that?
minutes. Well, he handed me the mic, and he let me sing Kiss. The whole entire song.
Nice.
And this is in my hometown in Chicago at a sold-out show. So you can imagine what that feels like being on stage with him. And he's letting me sing his song. And everybody's looking at me, and I'm like, wow, this is nuts. I can't believe I'm up here doing this. And this went on for about 30 shows. That wasn't the first. This went on afterwards for a while. Because in the year 2000, I was touring with the punk group Cameo. I was their guitar player and keyboard player and background vocalist. So Cameo is a world-famous punk band. So the musicians that